y'all, it's Charlene from the Crafty Art Shack, and we're back here today with another awesome video. So let's get to the craft desk and get started. Let's go. All right, y'all, here we are at the craft desk, and I've got out the book again for our little kit that we're putting together, and I'm looking for all the pieces to put this kitchen together. Now, I'm looking through, and what I'm showing you is how the numbers match up to these destructions. Now, there's several places you kind of have to look, and I kind of deciphered how all of this is done now, and they give you these little templates here. Those numbers match what's in the little page right there that I'm showing you, and then you go back and look in the book and match them up. I don't know who created these instructions or destructions, but this is why most people throw them away, because of they're complicated and they don't go straight to tell you how to do things. So what I'm looking through is all the pages to find all the pieces and make sure I have the right number, and that's what I'm showing you here. So let's move on to putting this together. Now, here's all the pieces to our little kitchen cabinet, and I'm trying to get this lined up so y'all can see this just right. Now, I've kind of laid all the pieces together to make sure I have everything I need. I'm going to grab that little copper wire, because you have to make all the little handles for these cabinet doors and everything, and they're just made out of this wire that looks like copper that I'm showing you there, and they give you measurements on how to cut them. I'm not measuring, I'm just putting it together. So I'm going to cut about what I think would look right for the handles. And you see me take these little bitty pliers. Those are jewelry pliers, but you can bend them with any little pair of needle nose pliers. And then you just trim it off with your wire cutters. And so that's what I'm doing here for all the little places that have to have handles. Then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take each one of these little panels that make it look like kitchen cabinet doors, and I'm going to put some of their glue on the back of it, and I am going to add a little hot glue with that so that I have that immediate hold while I'm waiting for the permanent hold. And I'm going to just press each one of these in place, and there's, I think on this piece there was the cabinet door, the big cabinet door, a small cabinet door, in the drawers, and you have to put those little handles on each one of these. That's a trick and a half. Now, I'm gonna tell you, it is. It's not the easiest thing to do. So anyway, I'm going to get all these pieces put together and on this front face of this, and then we're going to figure out how to put this kitchen sink together in a few minutes. Now, in order to put these handles on, I found that if you get a pair of those tweezers that hold it without you having to squeeze it, works really good for this type of project. And then you put those little handles on, sit there and hold them in place until they stick. And you want to make sure that they're standing up straight. So you don't have to have these kinds of tweezers, but I had them on hand, and I found that that pair worked better over having the ones that you have to hold with your hand and hold it closed, because you're trying to concentrate on putting that itty bitty little handle on there. And you know, you really got to love your grandkids a lot to do something this small for them. And my granddaughters, every time I see them, they're like, "Grammy, have you finished it yet?" I'm like, "Do you know how many pieces were in this kit?" I said, "You got to give Grammy some time. It might take me a year." And they're like, "A year? Oh my gosh, Grammy." I said, "Well, I don't get to work on it every day, so it's going to take me some time." But they're enjoying watching these videos of it being put together while I'm doing it and everything. And every time they watch one, they're like, "Are you done yet?" Okay, let's move on to the next thing. All right, here we are with our next cabinet door, and this one you want to make sure that you're gluing it over to the right hand side, because when you put it on this cabinet, if you put it too close up against the other side when you put this together, is not going to work. And that's what I'm showing you there with my finger when I pointed. So you want to make sure you do that. and I'm sure y'all know how to glue, so I'm not going to make y'all sit here through all of this, but what we're doing is basically the same thing we did with the first cabinet. Now here's the little end piece of the cabinet. It does not get a door, but it does get this little towel rack, and this is a little bit harder to put on than just a handle because it's so long. You kind of got to work with it and hold it in place, and my hands are getting in the way with this, and I apologize, but it is a little bit trickier than putting on those small handles because of the size that it is and that you want it to stand out from the cabinet. So then the next thing after that, and you see I have to keep setting it back up straight because it's a little heavier, it wants to slide off. Now we're going to put on the oven glass door, and so we're going to turn it over, and they give you a little picture, so you need to go find that picture in your kit and put this together, and then you're just going to add your glue. And see, once you read your instructions and then you get to this part, this part you can put it together yourself without the instructions or destructions. Now here's what I didn't understand. This must not be an American made kit. If it is, I don't know why they did this. They put an oven right below the kitchen sink. Now the kitchen sink goes in that little hole up there above this. Can you believe that? Who does that? Now the next thing we're doing is we're going to take this piece of silver paper, and we are going to make the kitchen sink. And I think they could have designed this part a little better, but you know, it is their kit, not mine. So we're going to put this together. What I'm doing here is I'm gluing all the little pieces down. Then I'm going to take an X-Acto knife, cut around each one of those pieces, and then we have to put them together. Because each one of these pieces is going to have a silver piece on it, and that's going to make it look like a stainless steel sink. All right, here we are with all of our little pieces put together, and our kitchen sink, we cut those out. I didn't show you that, but what I did is basically just laid them all on there, glued them down, let it dry, and then cut them out. Now, this also also have to cut out this little silver square because we are going to make the stovetop. Now, you see, the oven is over under the kitchen sink. Now they're going to stick the stovetop over here all by itself and only give you one burner. It's a good thing I don't have to cook in this kitchen. So what I did is I took another piece of that little silver foil paper, glued it down, and I cut it according to the pattern size. I didn't follow it exactly, to be honest, but I did make sure it was a similar size and shape. And then you're going to glue down your little ring. Now you do have to fold that ring out of a piece of wire that they give you in the kit, and then you have to cut 4 little pieces to put on there to make it look like the little burner for the stove. Then after we finish that, then what we're going to do is glue together our sink pieces. I set the little stove over there to the side so it has plenty of time to dry before we start putting these cabinets together. So now we're going to put together this sink. That was fun. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's because the way they put it together and then you have to fit it in that slot. It didn't quite work out. I had to modify this sucker to make it fit. And maybe, you know, just maybe, those instructions might have come in handy if I followed them a little better. But I just, you know, I tried to do my best with the way I saw their instructions. So here we go. This is our sink, and this is what it's going to look like. So I'm going to finish gluing all this together, and then we'll come back. All right, there's the little sink glued together. Now what we're doing now is these pieces are already dry, so we got to put them together. Now, here's where you do need those instructions, or this is not going to come out right. You need to look and see how these corners are put together, whether the front side's out on top or the piece is sitting towards the back. Like this one right here, when you put this on, the way the picture showed it is you put the front side of the cabinet on and the side of the cabinet is behind that. And see, I'm still, these little handles, you really have to make sure You get the precise amount of glue on them so that they stay on, but not too much that it looks like you got glue globs under there. And that's a trick and a half. So I went back in there after their glue dried and added a little super glue, and look, that got everywhere. It was a mess. I glue myself to this thing, and it's not even funny, you guys, that I end up with a big mess. But I love my granddaughters, so I'm going to make sure I get this put together for them. Now you want to give that a little time to sit up before you start working on your next piece. Now here's where this one goes in, and you've got to make sure that have put those kitchen cabinets together the right way, because if you don't, this is where I was talking about, this piece wouldn't fit on there the way it was supposed to. Now you're kind of making like an S shape with your cabinets here, and then we're going to come back in and put the end on that piece that I just did there. And I'm going to check the instructions to make sure I'm putting it to the front or to the back, however they require you to put it on. Now here we go. We are going to be putting the sink in next, and I'm kind of moving this stuff around while it's still not quite dry so that I can make sure everything is fitting right. And there's where your little sink goes, and that's after I adjusted that sink. And this is basically how that countertop's going to fit on there. Now I did a dry fit before I did any gluing of everything, so I'm not gluing that sink in yet. I'm just going to put glue across the top, put my top on, and then I'll go in and glue the sink from the underside. And I did that because it makes it easier to put this together and make sure you have your sink located in the right place. Now I did have to trim up the sides of that sink just a little bit to fit in that little space. And I'm just keep adjusting this until I get everything where it's supposed to be. I'm going to set it aside and let it dry. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little bead. I took me some of that wire and some of these pieces that they said you needed, and we're going to make a little teapot. So I made me a handle and I made me a spout, and there's the top to my little teapot. We're just going to glue this together, and I'm going to let you watch that while I tell you something. I'm supposed to be telling you something. Hold on. I got to remember what it was. Oh, I had some people ask me to do miniatures, but not miniatures from a kit. We are going to try to incorporate those in. We just wanted to make sure we got the date set. So if you're watching miniatures and you're still with me at this point, our miniatures are going to air, or the videos are going to be up on every third Monday of the month. And if you have pictures of miniatures that you've been doing, my email address is in the description box below. Send me an email with your pictures and I will add it into our video. We'd love to see what you're doing with miniatures. And then we'll also be making miniatures of our own. There is a few miniatures that I'm going to pop up here on the screen in a few minutes. Now here's the video where we did a miniature for one of our projects in the video. And look at this little teapot up here in the corner coming together. Isn't that cute? Now this was the fruit and bee challenge, and we chose to make a lemonade stand in this challenge. And the link to this video is going to be in the description box below so you can go and watch it. And here is the little lemonade stand that we did in this video, and it had turned out absolutely adorable. So go check it out. Now we got the little teapot fixed. Now here we go. We're going to make a little disc draining rack. Now the easiest thing to do is get these little clips out that I got from the Dollar Tree, and you're going to want to place them so that it holds these pieces up for you to glue your other piece to it, that piece right there. So we're going to add some, get them all put together like we want in the clips where they'll stand and hold themselves together. And we're going to put some glue on them and put them together. And here we go. Now we're going to take our little dowel rod that goes at the top of that, put it on, put some glue on that rack piece that goes on the bottom, and then we're going to add our other part to the rack. Then we're going to set this aside, and this gets a little fiddly to work with because everything's not quite dry. Now, if you have patience, let it dry first and then work on it. Put a piece on, let it dry, then do the next piece and let it dry. Don't be like me. Don't be the impatient crafter. Now here it is all put together, and it is too cute. Now for the little dishes they give you, oh, let me go back to this. Now what we're doing is we're going back in and we're gluing that sink in place now that everything has had a chance to dry. Now the next thing we did is we cut out all the little plates. Now these are just paper plates that you cut out of a picture that look like expensive plates, and you just stick each one of them in the little slot like this. I didn't glue them in, I just left them that way. But when you drop it, you're going to drop your plates. Good thing they don't break, right? All right, you guys, every third Monday of the month, we're going to start putting up a minis video just for mini projects, and some of them will be the little kit that we're working on, and some of them might be the kit plus some of my own minis that I'm making. All right, at this time we'd like to thank our subscribers. We love you bunches, and here we go with the final reveal, you guys. Alright, if you'd like to find out what's going on our channel, go to our community page because we are posting what's going on weekly for that week on our community tab page under our channel. So go check us out, you guys, because there's a lot of things going on and we usually post it right here on that community tab page. And there's some polls to ask questions at times. Alright, y'all, we're back from the craft desk, and didn't these just turn out awesome? Well, if you like this content, subscribe, like, and share because it really helps our video out. And for all our subscribers, thank you so much for everything you do for us by subscribing to the channel. And we'll see you in the next episode of the Crafty Art Shack. We'll see you later. Bye.
I forgot what I was doing. When I look at something in the background or whatever and I notice it's out of place, it's like, squirrel! My craft room's not full. I still have the ceiling to hang stuff from. What do you mean you can't find it? Babe, it's right there behind my, yeah, that thing. Yeah, it's behind my stuff. I know. Hey, babe, those are my tools. Yours are over there in your toolbox behind my stuff. That's why you're using mine? Listen, I have everything right here in hand's reach so that I could do a video. Why is it over there? Because I'm not using it right now. No, don't get rid of it. I need it. But I know it's not at hand's reach, but I need it. I might want to use it. Alright, y'all, we're back from the craft desk, and didn't these just turn out awesome? So you guys, if you like this content, subscribe. Hit that notification bell and give us that big thumbs up because it really helps our channel out. And we'll see you in the next episode of the Crafty Art Shack. We'll see you later. Bye.